Hey yo, first thing we're going to talk about is how tall this print is. 298 millimeters, tallest print I've done yet. And I haven't had to slow it down that much, and that's more so what I wanted to kind of talk about. Typically, something like this I would slow it down in half, and I've knocked some of the acceleration out, but that's about it. And that is because it's in the enclosure. And I'm going to explain that to those who don't know. Most of the time, the issue that you have with your print lifting off the bed is due to it warping. Warping parts, the warping force is what fights the adhesion grip the most. Your print lifting up, straight up. Not the motion, honestly, because it has that shear force of the grip there, of the adhesion. Now, if this was printing, something a little bigger, if this was printing, and I took and sprayed some cool air right here, this section of these layers would contract, lifting the edges of the print, in theory there. That's the biggest issue. So when you hear about drafts and being next to an air conditioning vent, it's the truth. If you don't have an enclosure, which I didn't for a long time, and I thought it was fine and it was easy, I eventually had my settings all worked around to where it wouldn't lose the part halfway through. And I see a lot of people without enclosures. I just don't know how I got by without it so long. I guess not that long. I'm not that far into it really, but I did a lot of prints without the enclosure. For the money, it's a lot of headache gone. Get an enclosure. $40. I got this for 32. Worth the money. Peace of mind, plus keeps everything clean and you can store stuff in there. It's the way to go. Now, as far as adhesion goes, the brim is the go-to for most people, and it's not even supposed to touch your part. I want to clarify that. It doesn't physically hold it down. Its goal, and I read this in the slicer, I didn't make it up, I did then look into it more. It insulates the base of the print. So once I learned that, anytime I had a print that would lift, I would come in and put tree supports in the area that it would lift, and running the long way, along the way that I could, the axis that I could access, I would put supports. And I mean, the parts are coming out so flat now, and that's how I got there, was getting an enclosure, not to mention the BQ beds. Can't beat the BQ beds. Frostbite, I recommend the Frostbite. The Pro Glaciers are good. They last longer. Not that I've had. I'm still using this one. But it is definitely smoother. I can feel that it's smoother. I did take a razor blade to it, but I couldn't get the blue off. So highly recommend these in all my videos. Lastly, I would say would be working on your first layer and taking your time with that. I know that you see videos and guys are blazing it down, but I just don't feel that that's the majority of the time. That's not a realistic expectation that you should have. You're not going to be blazing that first layer down. And this is, I'm saying this more to the newbies. I don't care how long it takes to put that first one down. I'll print it at 20 millimeters a second. And then just, I'm printing the rest at freaking light speed. So I can sacrifice that amount of time. But even this, as tall as it is, and as much extra force I am putting on that adhesion with the top of it and the bed moving, I didn't put a brim or a raft or a skirt or anything. Those beds, they do not miss. And that's, I think, about it. I don't know what else I'm beating a dead horse here with the build plate adhesion, I know, but I just don't think it can be said enough. Tips can't be said enough, and maybe this will kick some conversation up and someone new will learn something. And if that's the case, like and subscribe. Thank you.